Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today on TJ Roofs, we're going to be putting new roof on Mossy here. This one's giving up the ghost. The trying to unzip the back window that's put together with plastic off of somebody's sofa. The zipper broken too, so that's over. So we're gonna strip this top off, and we're going to put on this top. We got her laid out here. We got us back windows. We got the full top stretched out across. It always helps to have an Austin Healy around to use to lay your pieces out to let them relax. Have the heaters over there blowing down onto here. We got new half doors. All this kit's from Bestop. The Spice with the tinted windows, which this originally came with a Spice top. Gets twisted back over here at the Jeep again. So we're gonna see what we can do about removing the old fabric. We're gonna reuse our old bows, and let's get into it. Hope this helps y'all. So first thing, we're gonna unzip this side, get rid of it. The zippers are really dry. I only basically put this on. I run all summer without a top, because I knew this one was so badly dried out and shrunk up that getting it up and down has become a real procedure. Alright, that just slips off of there. Throw this over here out of the way. This guy, the zipper's gone. We're going to do that to it. Give a little yank. We need to save this bar. We'll use it with the new top. And that shouldn't be wavy like that. And it'd be nice if you could see through it. Alright, let's take the other side off. Apparently I locked that door, can't get that door open. This guy's gonna come off. We'll be replacing the fabric on him. We gotta save the inner metal parts. Unlock the other door. Our other side, rear side. And these side windows, you just give them a firm grip and they'll come right out. They just have 3 little pieces of metal that holds them down in place. Placing the fabric on them is going to be another story though. Alright, we'll open that up. Pull down on this guy. Release that. Fold that up and over. Hook this side. Fold it up and over. Then there should be 2 buttons, or 3 I guess, on each side. You unbutton off of this back bar. And this is for a 97, I believe, 02, I believe they were like this. The other ones are very similar. pulled that ahead a little bit. Yeah, this top is actually shrunken enough that this bar was supposed to sit on top of here, but to make everything fit, everything had shrunk so much that this got pulled down over the side to even fit. All right, we got a couple of clips in here. It's the same thing, everything is shrunk enough that it doesn't want to work. We'll unclip our windshield here. Or on the other side, unclip the windshield. And unclip these side pieces. Now, got her top down to this stage. Pull it back. Screw going through here we want to remove. Putting this on the lowest setting, we don't want to, this is only screwing into plastic, we don't want to get too aggressive. You could do this by hand. Gonna save these screws. One there. We got one over here. Then we'll take this guy. Fold him around that way. And we got a whole row of screws under here to remove. Actually, it looks like somebody has been in here before. Probably replacing this plastic piece. We're going to set all these screws down here. There's lots and lots of screws here. And we're actually missing one of the corner ones. And with that, kind of fold that up into a pile, and that's gone. So now we're down to our bare frame. Like that. Check, make sure this is all like it's supposed to be. None of the rivets are broken. Everything's screwed in here kind of like it should be. This one's got a little bit more play than it's supposed to have for some reason. Same over here. That doesn't look too bad. Everything looks functional. Everybody's setting like it should be. I think we're okay. Now at this point, what I like to do is we'll set the top on here. And with the heat on in here, I'm just going to leave it draped over there overnight and let it get used to kind of being the shape it's going to be. This room, it's wintertime, it's 30 some degrees outside. In here I have the temperature set at 70, which should be plenty enough to help this soften up a tad. And then tomorrow we'll come in and we'll commence to fitting everything. Alright, so until then. In second thought, I'll let you guys watch me struggle getting this up here. We're going to fold them in half, kind of the way they had it, out of the box. Throw stuff on the floor. Probably help if I latch the front too. I'll be doing that here in a minute. Pick up the stuff I threw on the ground. Set up here. We'll latch this guy down. Get these kind of into position where they gotta go. It's poofed out like it's supposed to be. There we go. The same thing, my heater's right back there, so that'll help kind of heat this up a little bit. Get it used to being a top instead of just something wrapped up in a bag. Alrighty. Heat is your biggest friend when it comes to this. A little bit of heat will go a long, long way. You can actually hook the front on each side into there. A little bit hooked into there. This side. That's just kind of nudged into there. And we'll let her be at that till tomorrow. Alright, it's a new day. We've let the top sit overnight. We're going to work on attaching it to the roll bar now. Or the framework. So what we've got to do, you got to take this guy. He's had a little bit of stretch. Take him back off. Turn him upside down. Hook this. all back. Find the center of the bar here and the center of this. That guy should be center. Right. Okay. Take a screw. Pop it through here. Screw it down snug. Don't want to strip them out. Working from the center out. And don't want to do these very end ones till last. We're going to do another step before we do that. You can do the last ones in this plastic though. Plastic strip. Making sure this is laying flat, not bunched up or nothing. On there. Take this. You can kind of flip it this way. Work it over top of this. Easier said than done. Slowly working it around. Where it would be nice to be with 100-degree day doing this. Kind of peeling it over like a sock. Kind of got that over. At this point, they want you to put a screw in there. But I believe I'm going to fold this forward and get some tension on it before I do that to make sure it's seated properly. This is where a helper would help. There we go. Supposed to be. Coming out. And we'll latch our forward latches. All right. At this point, kind of pull this stuff around here a little bit. And make sure at this point we'll button this on. Got 6 buttons back here. All on this top bar. Things are still not stretched out quite enough yet. Might need to let some more heat on this for another day. Yep. And you can do this to make it a little easier too, which I think I'm going to have to. We'll get the ones we can get and then let her sit for a bit. Alright, so now we got our buttons buttoned. And the next step is this flap up here gets pulled down and then this velcroed over it. Going across here. Hard to hold the camera and do that, so I'm going to attack that. You want to end up with something kind of like that. This folded over. May have to re-tighten this after I get some nice warm weather and you can pull it around a little tighter. But the better you do this around here, the better it'll work for the top to go up and down. Alright, so these are buttoned. Took a little bit of pulling and stretching. And then you want to pull these guys down and clip them in here on each side. I've already done that, forgot to turn the camera on. Alright, now that we've got things kind of stretched out, gonna fold that back and do the 2 corner screws that I need to do up there. Got to pull down on this guy, get him disconnected. For the sake of easiness, I'm just going to move it back that far, and we'll go up above here. Put those screws in. Also helps if you have the pins to go through there, so that doesn't fall off, but I got to get some of those. That's pulled back and I can kind of see where that needs to go. Alright, that one's in there. Do the same on the other side. Latch this back down. Make sure everything's placed kind of where it needs to be. This guy's got to go back on. Like I said, there should be two dealies to keep that in place, but somebody lost them for this one. We're just going to kind of put it where it goes. And then these get clipped into here on each side. We'll pull these back down into place. This will all get easier as it gets used to being set where it's supposed to be. Put you guys back down a little bit. Alright. So these are clipped on, that's clipped on, that's clipped up over here. We're going to shut our door. And let's put in the window. This one goes to that side. This one goes to this side. We're just normal top operations at this time. Got a zipper up in here somewhere. This hooks in too. Sometimes kind of Velcro that over there to hold it. And this is where I'd recommend tying a string or something onto this to make them a little easier to get at. Sorry about that much, and we'll get this in the track. can come this way a little bit. Okay. And this gets tucked up in here. This side, we need the big window. It clips into this guy, goes like that. Which the first time's always the hardest with this. You could put a little bit of lube on that channel to help you if you wanted to. Kind of center it up. About there. We got to put our zipper together. Over in this corner. Just going to go to there and let for a moment till things get kind of stretched out. Let the sun bake on it a little bit. The heater, because we don't have the sun today. Because this has got to get stretched out to fit. It's also a good time to talk about the zipper lubricant. This actually comes with the top, and this is very good to put on all your zippers here, and on the other side. Makes them work a lot smoother. I want to get everything together first and then put this on. Once everything's set, then you can squirt a little bit of this on the zipper and then work the zipper around to lubricate it. While that one gets used to being kind of where it's at. Like I said, the worst thing you can do is force the zipper, because you'll end up breaking something. So we'll just let it that far, and we'll let things kind of get used to being where they're at. May pull this outside and run the heater on it a bit, warm everything up. Now I can put this window on this side. Same operation you saw me do here, so I'm not going to bore you guys with that. Alright, we've got the other side in. Once it was in, this had stretched enough that it let me run that zipper the rest of the way around, and basically the top is done. At this point, if you have half doors, keep watching because we're going to do the half doors. If not, I hope this helped. Alright, now we're on to the side windows. We'll see what we can learn about these. Got some Velcro in here. Velcro over here. Come down around along the bottom. And some over here. I think what we're going to do is kind of roll this around this edge. Alright, now I got it on the other side. Now we can put it over here. Oop, I'm grabbing my shirt. And try to work it the rest of the way down. And this is definitely the more trying part of this job. Because what you have is from here to this point is the tightest spot along this whole setup. You just got to kind of work it around. Wiggling and pulling and tweaking and twisting until it eventually comes off. Same thing, a little bit of heat your friend. As I unzip this window, probably get a little bit more flex here. Come on, you can come off of there. Let's try rolling it off the bottom, maybe. As always, the one I did off camera worked easily. There we go. Just gotta get this corner to cooperate. There we go. And now we have one of these. We've got a little bit of rust on it. We're gonna wire brush that a little bit. Maybe doctor it up a tad before we put the new piece back on. But yeah, got to get to this stage first. Check for cracks, broken stuff. Everything looks to be happy. Just a little bit of rust, and if water gets in there, it's going to get in there. All right. Now we'll get to putting the new piece on. Installation, basically the reverse fight. Taking them off. Put this over here. want these good and warm. I'm hoping it's even warm enough that I can maybe do this. My confidence levels are not high. Got a ways to go here. Alright, I'm going to play with this a little bit. Alright, I'm back. We got this on. I am not going to lie. This will test your sanity. Getting this to fit over this, not easy. I understand why there isn't many videos on it. Because it's a struggle and you look like a dum-dum putting them on. Now what I ended up doing, the instructions want you to start at this lower corner, slip it in, and then work in up here. And I found that I could get the metal corner to here, but I just couldn't get it to slide. You probably could put a little grease on there to make that easier. I did not want to do that, being a gray or a tan top. For the black top, a little black grease you'll never notice if it bleeds through, but I didn't want that on this color, so I didn't do that. What I ended up doing, put this corner in first and getting it jammed into this corner. At that point, you can set it like this and slide it down over this. Slide that up over. Then you can work around here. Before you start working this around though, you want to unzip your window. That gives you a little more stretch. And then you can work it around here. Then when you get to this corner, it's very helpful if you have a shoehorn, some sort of a plastic hook. I had this little plastic pry bar, and I was able to stick it in there and flip this up over, holding my foot against this through the window hole and pulling on this, getting it close in place. You can stick this in there and flip it over, and at that point you just need to wiggle this around and put your Velcro on. This corner I don't need to tighten it up a little bit, like that. Velcro kind of where it goes. The last thing you want to do is tighten your window with that. That gets you back on here. We'll try not to make you guys dizzy. We'll spin this around over there and up a little. Then this guy goes like this. Line up your 3 holes, making sure this rubber guy goes to the inside and the one on the front stays on the inside. Slide her down. This guy kind of works around in there. Bang. We're on. Now once again, I'm not getting a really good fit here because I need to get the clamps that go in through here to keep this plastic in behind back a little bit. It slid a little bit forward. But all in all, it's on there. This is all lining up like it should. You want to check for something being wrinkled out or in. But I think we got it. It's a challenge. It will test you. You want to have those panels as warm as you possibly can. I have the other one setting up on the roof up here, so it gets some heat in it. Or I thought it had. We're going to put it up here on the roof. The warmest place in the garage I can find to help it get a little bit more stretch in it. And I would 100% recommend doing this on a nice warm summer's day where that can really work. I have the thermostat set at 74 in here, which is helping, but it needs to be a little bit warmer. Being in the direct sunlight would help. But that's putting a top on a TJ. I hope this helped all of you. And until the next video, keep out of trouble, have fun, happy Jeeping. Later, guys.